Good evening and welcome to Business Live. My name is Jahuyan. Today on the show, we'll be discussing insurance as it relates to small to medium-scale enterprises. We also do our usual stock market analysis and bring you up to date with the headlines from the business world. Do stay on. Now, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, the inflation rate in the country went down to 16.4% in January compared to 17% in December. Here are more of the headlines from the business world.
The World Bank is challenging mining companies to work more closely with independent power producers to meet their growing energy demands. According to the bank, instead of supplying their own energy on site, mines can become major and reliable customers for the IPPs, which can then develop better infrastructure to bring low-cost power to communities. Inflation drops to 16.4% in January 2015 from 70% recorded in December 2014. The Ghana Statistical Service attributes the drop to a reduction in the non-food inflation rate for January. President John Dramani Mahama has inaugurated a presidential task force to map out the establishment of an export and import bank in the country. The Exim Bank is expected to support Ghanaian industries, drive exports of strategic goods and services, and oversee Ghanaian investments. The task force has 3 months to deliver on modalities for the bank's establishments. Ghana is now hoping to secure a program with the International Monetary Fund no later than April this year instead of the March date earlier announced. Head of the country's team negotiating with the fund, Dr. Kwesi Botwe, who is also the chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, disclosed this when the Presidential Advisory Group on the Economy met for the first time this year to deliberate on developments in the economy. He also revealed that government has resolved outstanding issues with the IMF, paving way for a bailout not later than April when the IMF Executive Board meets.
Okay, so right now we are going to go straight into the topic that we want to discuss this evening, which is insurance and small to medium scale enterprises. Now, even though 90% of the workforce in Ghana is engaged in the SME sector, insurance penetration is only 2%. There are two sides to this story. On one hand, companies say it's very difficult to get packages. And on the other hand, the insurance companies themselves say the SMEs are simply not outfitted to suit the insurance world. Abigail Ademakwenji spoke to Solomon Lati of Activa International Insurance to tell us exactly how insurance companies are dealing with the fact that there are not efficient systems for SMEs to take advantage of insurance.
The problem in Ghana is that we lack systems. So insurance is law. There should be A, B, C, D in place for insurance to be effective. Sometimes if they are not there, it becomes a difficulty. For instance, the market fires that occurred recently. You realize that most of them don't have insurance because we have what we call moral hazards and physical hazards. People throw rubbish around anyhow. There are cardboards and stuff like that. Somebody will be smoking, throw a cigarette into those things and it will create fire. And there's poor wiring, for instance. All those things are physical hazards. When they exist, insurers are not interested. So those are some of the reasons why it is quite difficult for insurers to insure those ones. You realize that most multinational businesses, the Nestle's, the Cadbury's, Newmont, all those companies are always buying insurance. Why? Because they know of the essence. But the other smaller companies in Ghana, even though sometimes some insurance companies may approach them, they might not. They don't see the relevance of insurance until something very bad happens. So it's not a difficulty to insure them, but it's because there are no proper systems and in place. So it makes it not interesting for insurance companies. For instance, insurance works with certain principles. Okay, you, the person being insured, should take responsibility for certain things. We always say that insurance is an aspect of the risk management spectrum. It's a lot of things, but insurance is part of it. So insurers insure aspects of a company's risk that they cannot manage themselves. There are certain companies that do not, by nature of their business, manage their risks properly. And if they can't do that and they try to pass it on to insurance, it means that for insurance, that every year or every month you're going to pay a claim. And we don't want that. Insurance is for things that are unforeseen. But when you know that this company, if I insure them every year, there are companies in Ghana that almost every year or two there's a fire or something. Once you know that, you don't want to insure those ones. But where those companies have systems in place to manage their own housekeeping, their own risks, then it becomes easier to insure them. I think there are two things. There are different things. Let me say there are three levels. We have micro insurance, we have insurance for SMEs, and we have corporate insurance. So we have insurance for the banks like Standard Chartered, Barclays, corporate. Then we have SMEs and startups, and then micro insurance. Yes, there's something going on. I think GIZ and the Insurance Commission is working on that. We are almost every insurance company in Ghana. You insure a property, and the rate that insurance companies apply could be as low as 0.2% for a whole year. So insurance premiums, but it's because people don't know. That's why I started talking about education. Once people are aware that insurance is very cheap, then they begin to buy it. Insurance companies become stronger, and then we can venture into other areas that hitherto were not available. So it's available. My company, for instance, has set up a specific unit for SMEs. From this year, we've engaged somebody who is managing that unit, and I'm sure many other companies in the market are doing the same thing. So because in Ghana, more than 90% of the population are in the SME market. So if we want to fuel growth in the economy, then we will support SMEs.
So how are insurance companies taking advantage of the sector to deepen penetration, and how accessible are these insurance packages to small businesses? The insurers have told us their side of the story, but now let's find out from the point of view of an owner of a small to medium scale enterprise how easy it is to get insurance. Here's the story on a small business and its journey to secure an insurance package.
So just as it's difficult for small businesses to access credit, it's equally difficult for them to access insurance packages. Now, that is what we have come to know, but is that what is really happening on the grounds? Today, I'm speaking to Peony. They are producers of natural cosmetics locally. actually they make them here in Ghana. As you can see behind me, these are some of the Peony products, and today I'm going to be speaking to them. As a small business started 3 years ago, how difficult has it been for them to get insurance for their business? And I am going to speak to Yao Edijemfi, who is the production manager of Peony. You're very welcome to Business Live, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so straight away, I'd ask you, do you have an insurance package for this business, I mean Peony?
We're still in the process of finding an affordable one. It's been on the discussion for the whole of last year. But again, finding a budget to meet, an average of about 1,000, to 2,000 cedis, monthly, it's quite a bit much for a small company that's gradually trying to grow and expand. Again, we do realize in this situation, it's very key, as the power fluctuations, energy surges. We do need that protection again against fire. So it is very important. Yes, it's eminent, and we are working on it, but it's not been easy. They do have packages, but I don't think it's tailored for very small, companies like us.
Yeah. So you are saying that you don't have any insurance package yet?
That suits us, no. Yes. Okay,
so how has it been, I mean, the journey to finding a package that suits your business?
Great. Again, I know we're not allowed to mention names, but we had a few people visit the site, and as is, they still advise we standardize and try and get certain standards and regulations in place to make it easier for them to assess the risk before they do give us a package. That might work for us. But again, we still feel, a little bit more of advice prior, or if there's a certain code for a certain, bracket or production bracket or scale bracket that would work. It would make everything much easier. Again, forehand information rather than having to go there. So at least everybody is prepared. I think pretty much, should help and would help. But it's been an educative journey.
Do you have the systems in place? Usually they complain that you don't have good record-keeping systems. It's generally risky to insure you, small businesses like yourself. Are you different?
Oh, wow, would I say different? We again, Peony as a brand and as a company pays a lot of attention to detail. Take a look at our packaging. Again, you need a lot more, expertise and, being focused on the job. We do keep good records, yes. But again, they know what they need behind their closed doors. Pretty much with how we record raw materials going in and out, stock coming in and out, who's paying. We also have an in-house accountant that also helps with lots of these, paper trail. And again, the production also has a lot of paper trail, we do keep. But again, I still was stressed. Cost of doing business has gone up, yes. Again, it's a bit unpredictable, again, with the power situation, disposable income of people, because our business also solely relies on, disposable, discount income from customers. So again, it's a ripple effect. If it costs more, then I have to pass that cost on. How quick are the products moving? What's the turnover? For it to make, it affordable. For us to also have that, income to also expend on insurance. So again, something.
So now that the doomsday is making it even more difficult for you to get the needed credit for insurance.
Again, I wouldn't want to categorize it as that, but again, it's difficult.
It's a challenge, isn't it?
It's a challenge, amongst other things as well. So it's not a 1 point, problem.
How is that affecting your business?
Wow, on this platform, I honestly, say it's very, very difficult because, the fuel prices are not going down. And again, if there's no power and, again, diesel was affordable, we feel we could probably run our generators much cheaper. And again, get more products out and again, save some more money. It's all about savings, so you can pass on the savings to.
So can you tell in a day how much you have to buy for fuel to even power your plant when there's no light?
Wow. For a 40 kVA, we're doing about 2,000 cedis if you have to work 24 hours. So again, we probably have
for a day?
A day, yes, ma'am.
Wow, and you need 1,000 of that to get an insurance package for a month.
So again, that's why we term that as disposable income. Because again, you don't want to build clientele and don't have products on the shelf. So you have to prioritize. And I'm sure lots of businesses are doing that. and we don't have the luxury,
So now your money is going into fueling your plants.
Fuel our plants, not even the house, so or even our pockets. So, but again, it's the passion that we are buying, locally sourced shea butter, locally sourced coconut oil, palm kernel oil, and we're doing incredible products with them. So again, like the Zonto, we also have a product that can make everybody smile and everybody proud of the brand. Again, can travel with this and show it to the rest of the world, and it competes internationally. So it's that passion that keeps us going.
So it looks like the challenges are unending, but tell me how you're surviving. How are you able to access credit? I know that is also a challenge to SMEs.
Wow. To be honest, I'm sure our story will be different from anybody else's. But
have you tried to secure any particular facility to get an insurance package in your insurance story?
Again, like I expressed earlier, yes, we have. And again, it's a bit on the high side for us to do per month, because again, you need to think about.
But have you tried to get a credit facility, or say, have you approached any financial institution for support? I'm talking about how you can access credit to get this package.
Great. Again, exclusively on insurance, finding credit for insurance, we haven't tried that. No. Why? And I didn't think it's feasible. So if there's a service like that, we'll probably hope the insurance companies can let us know. It's easy access. Like I said, it's access to information and what to do and what you qualify for. If you don't, or if we do.
There are several financial institutions. Apart from the insurance companies, you have the banks and other savings and loans that could help you with some form of credit to even get the package. You haven't thought of that?
Again,
or Doomsaw has now become it's so much of a difficulty for you that's all you're thinking about, how to follow your plan.
Again, at the management level, yes, we've considered different options, but again, ultimately, at what price are you going to pass on these costs to the consumer, and do they have that disposable income to afford your product? So again, it's a tough decision we would have to take. Yes, it's been considered, but how feasible is it? Is it the right time? And I don't think so.
So when exactly do you think you get yourself an insurance package? I mean, you're a starter, yes, but you need insurance.
If I'm to be sarcastic, as early as the power situation is solved, if I can save that money, we could pass it on to getting something that can also benefit the company as a whole. Pretty much.
Well, I guess the power situation is something that we all want solved immediately. But apart from that, what do you want to see in place, finally? What do you want insurance companies to do? What do you want authorities that be to put in place to help small businesses like yourself?
Again, to the insurance companies, I literally can say, consider us as a customer and tailor something for us. Because there are a lot more people like us.
There are some micro insurance packages out there, though.
Oh, great, and we'll be keen to find out how that also works.
So then you need more information?
Super, like I said, and I keep stressing, it's access to information to let you know what is out there, what is not, what you're eligible for, what you know, what is feasible, and what is not.
So in this sense, insurance companies, or what, you would have to go and find out the information also?
I think it can be done both ways. I need it, they also need us. So again, if they can do some brochures that can go around, or gatherings that some of us attend, and try and poach us and try and interact with us and try again, like I said, educate us.
But there have been some things like that already, or you think it's not enough?
Then probably it's my fault, I've missed it. I won't blame them. Probably
you're not searching more, or you're not doing more of research on this particular sector. It's not really a priority.
To be honest, it is a priority, but we haven't done enough extensive research since the other supply chain logistics we are focusing a little manpower on. But keen again, yes, we'll probably also blame ourselves, but again, the ease to information makes it easier,
So to all SMEs, what would you say, especially with regards to this? Now you know that you need to do a lot more research on this sector. There could be some opportunities out there for you.
To the other SMEs, I would probably urge, as again, anything can happen. You could lose products, you could lose inventory, based on, again, outbreaks, to even theft, or even just building collapse, which is again also quite rampant in the country now. So we hope you also be more keen on finding insurance packages that suit you, not above your budget, since we need to survive. Because if you're not here, the insurance companies also won't have customers. So again, on both sides of the fence, they should help us. We should also reach out to them.
So I'm very sure my colleague Abigail Ademakointri would be helping to create that linkage between teeny small-scale industry and also Activa Insurance International. But right now we turn our focus to the Ghana Stock Exchange. We're going to find out how it's been faring. And according to Bertha, there is some good news for all investors out there.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, Bertha.
Yeah, well, as you said, the stock market actually picked up a little last week, and then though we saw the composite index that measures the average performance going down marginally by 0.03%, the financial stock index, however, took a positive 10 last week, and also we still having the average returns on the stock markets recording in negatives. And aside all this, we saw the market being very liquid. We saw more volumes of shares trading as compared to last week, over 12 million.
What accounted for
yes,
such a
I was just
volume?
about to hit on that. Go had a negotiated trade on the stock market, not on the ordinary platform that we all know, and they traded about over 12 million shares on the stock market, and that accounted for that huge volume of shares and then the value as well. And if you remember, last year Cal had the same thing, so we saw Cal trading over 30 million shares on the stock market, and that is what has happened with Go, and that was on Thursday. So when you look at the normal platform, you realize that I think on Thursday we had about only 900 shares trading on the normal platform as at 3 o'clock in the at the close of trading session on the stock market. But because of this negotiated trade, we saw the volumes of shares increasing so significantly, and that's also reflected in the value of the exchange. I'm talking about the market capitalization, which also went up by 301.74 million Ghana cedis. So that is quite impressive. I think the whole from the beginning of the year, this is one of the impressive performances that we've had ever since we started running into negatives, because the financial stock index actually went up marginally.
That brings me to another question. The financial index went up, did better than the composite index.
Sure,
I
it went
know
up.
that gold, which allowed such buoyancy when it comes to the value of shares being traded, is actually falls under the composite index. So how did that work out?
Yes, because we saw some major financial equities. And when I say major equities, I'm talking about these strong financial equities on the stock market that really contribute so much or has so much impact on the indices on the stock market. You see, when the composite index did go down, but it was very marginal, just 0.03%. And we saw EBG, we saw Ghana Commercial Bank adding up to investors. And you know what? Ghana Commercial Bank added 7 pesos and EBG added 9 pesos to its week open prices. And this are, let me say, this is something positive that we've been expecting from the financial equities. And out of the 6 gainers that we recorded on the stock market, 5 of these gainers were financial equities, and BOPP happened to be part of the gainers list, and it is one of the equities that is really pushing high. That is also adding up so much to investors, and it has its year-to-date return about, I think, over 2% on the stock market, and that is quite impressive as well. And we do most of the financial equities are trading below their year open prices. So GGA, that's the French bank, happened to have maintained its year-to-date return at 6%, though its market activity was very active on the market, though it didn't reflect in its price movement. But maintaining its year-to-date at 6%, it's quite good. At least investors have not lost on their shares.
There were still some investors who were unfortunately part of the losers market last week.
Yes, we had some. We had equities losing on the stock market last week. But before I even go on to the losers market, I just want to say a little more about certain things that happened. Some equities that really did well on apart from what's it called? The French bank.
So GGH,
yes. Apart from the French bank, we saw ETI. ETI also did well, though it's also still trading below its year open price. But it's close. I know ETI will do very well, despite the corporate governance issues that they experienced, I think 2 weeks back. But the equity is really doing so well on the stock market. In terms of liquidity,
to the court case with the former boss of VTI in Abidjan.
You know, such information or such news are very sensitive, and investors are very take key notice of this information that comes out, especially when it has to do, you know, it's a very big bank. And such it's very sensitive in a way that it can affect the price movement of the equity on the stock market. But management have been able to stand firm, and they've been able to put things in place, and the equity is doing well on the stock market. Aside that, so you look at FML. FML is an equity. When we look at the price movement of the equity for some time now, not only this year but like from previous years, you realize that the equity is likely to even fall further. Maybe it might even trade close to 3 Ghana cedis by the close of the year.
That's
ask me why. Yeah, fan milk. Ask me why, because aside the macroeconomic indicators that we are having, we are also one major thing, that is the energy crisis, is happens to affect this particular equity. One thing is that even if they have standby power, okay,
they need to
be able to fuel their production processes. Let's go into the market, the final consumers. How many people will patronize? How is the demand going to be like, looking at the general crisis that we are all into? Farm milk is something that is when you take it when it's iced, like that's how it really tastes. Yeah, when it's frozen. But you realize that most of these small scale businesses, those who are into this distribution side of it,
can't afford to
keep it chilled. I remember yesterday I wanted to buy some from a retailer, and she told me that I can't take it because it's just liquid, and she even plans to stop selling it, and that is not good. At least even certain things, this is when the managers of the economy will have to come in to save some of these companies.
So even if the big company can somehow manage to absorb the cost involved in the energy crisis, the smaller distributors, the retailers cannot absorb the cost. Therefore, demand goes down.
Demand goes down, and it affects the price
and
even the revenue of the firm or the company at the close of the year. And one other thing that I also want us to look out is BOPP. BOPP happened to have been part of the top gainers and the gainers on the stock market last week. Let's look at BOPP. Last year they had very good financials, over 100% profit, despite the fact that we had so many crises going on. Let's ask ourselves why. What was the secret behind this success? And it's an agro-processing firm, and it's happened to be one of the best that we have here. And BOPP
deals mainly in palm oil. They have palm farm.
And you know, it's very key and it's very necessary in the market. And aside that, too, when the cedi is depreciating, we had the cedi depreciating so much in last year. When the cedi is depreciating, it doesn't affect BOPP, the company as a whole, that much as it would do on other manufacturing or other agro-processing.
Because they're mainly for an export market.
Yes.
Okay.
And you see, and I want investors to understand this. So when they're going into the stock market, they know the equities that they should look out for. And then BOPP, they use their waste fiber to produce energy. They have alternative source of energy. So the energy crisis that we were experiencing last year did not really affect their cost of production that much because they had an alternative source.
Yeah. Brilliant. However, let's go back again. I know I see myself on there. I'm the Scrooge of the show, but I really want to know what the losers market looked like, and then we'll go briefly into commodities.
Yeah. Okay. Last week we saw some companies losing on their week open prices. We had Carl losing 3 pesos. Most of them lost a peso each, like CPC, Go happened to have lost a peso on its price, but that doesn't mean that it is not a good stock. It's a good stock. And we had PBC also losing a peso. SIC is still losing on the stock market, and it's lost 5 pesos on its week open price.
Governance issue.
Yeah. And we have Total losing a peso. Atalo lost 5 pesos. Unilever lost 1 Ghana cedis on its week open price. And it's from last year, Unilever has not been doing so well. We hope that managers within the company come up with strategic decisions to reflect in the performance of the stock on the Ghana, to reflect in the performance of the equity on the Ghana Stock Exchange. That will really help us a lot.
Okay, yeah. So equities you look at for, you've already mentioned, so DGH, Guelph.
You look out for Ghana Commercial Bank. Ghana Commercial Bank actually is one of the equities that you should look out for this week, because they are planning to establish more branches, and so many strategies have been put in place to cut down the cost.
And it's another one to look out for. Quickly, let's go to the commodity market and look at how the commodities are faring. Just take us through the figures before we...
Crude oil went up by 2.48% to close at $60.03 per barrel. Gold also went down by 0.39%. Actually, gold and coffee went down. They were the only commodities that lost on their previous prices. That's as of Friday. And then we had cocoa going up by 0.41%, and then sugar also went up by 1.50% on the international commodities market.
So a mixed bag of results for Ghana, who is also...
But one other thing that I just want to add is that Citibank, it's an international agency, has also predicted that the crude oil will reduce further, or the prices of crude oil will fall further.
I understand we're looking at something like $20 per barrel. We do hope that it will get to those lows so that many people who are producers, who are powering generators, would have better prices so they could get alternative sources of energy. That is all we have time for this evening on Business Live. But coming up next is Focus on Africa, followed by today's big story and Joy News Interactive. Please do stay on the channel.